Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all doing well out there. Man, this is a perfect week here. Weather's been spectacular today and yesterday. Got up, been eating today. Just got out and got some vitamin D a little while ago and a little bit of fresh air. And all is right with the world. I'm kind of rushing around trying to get things done, get ahead, because I'm going to go out of town for a couple of days and hang out with friends. So anyhow, let's get at it. Today I want to talk about raw food diet buzzwords. And don't assume with me. Guys, I do videos every day. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you go down and hit that red subscribe button. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. You know, between YouTube and social media, I get questions, I get a lot of questions each week. And I'll be real honest with you. I'm always honest with you guys. I'm probably one of the most transparent people here. Most of them, I'm like, I don't know. I used to kind of almost have this panic, like I had to answer them. Like, it was like almost a flashback to school where you sat down to the test and you're like, oh, damn, man, I don't know the answer to this. And you just blank out. But then I'm like, I'm not getting graded. Listen, I don't really fool with too many. If I'm not interested in something, I'm not like just out there randomly looking up stuff. I don't randomly just know about all this raw stuff just because, I tend to follow a raw food diet. That's just not me. I'm very different. I'm very, very different. It's very important to understand what you're looking at when you're watching here, because I get questions sometime and I'm like, well, they're thinking about somebody else. Imagine all of us raw vegans going down a road and then we come to a fork in the road. Most of the raw vegans all go right. I go left. I'm usually doing something all my own, no matter what it has to do with whether it comes to food or whatever. And a lot of these buzzwords, I'm not up on the buzzwords. I started my path for health and nutrition. I started my path journey trying to potentially, I won't even say heal the body, but I guess it was healing the body, but nothing had broken down yet, but just really trying to repair all the damage I had done in my life, from 30 years of drinking, eating a bunch of bad food. And to be quite honest, I'm older, so I don't have time to sit around and bobble back and forth. I don't give a damn about the raw versus this or that. I'm looking into things that work for me, that are going to make me feel better, and what I feel like gives me protection or like helps me against the things I've done in my past. So I don't have and it's always, what are your thoughts on that? I don't have thoughts. On things that I'm just not interested in, I don't have a thought on them. And you might say, well, you don't know anything about them. I'm like, well, I've probably heard of them, although I get questions all the time, and I'm like, never even heard of that. It's because, like I've told you guys many, many times before, I've burned out so many brain cells. I don't have a hard drive. Let me see if I can explain it one more time. It's like my brain is like a computer. It's actually a pretty decent computer. I'm a pretty smart guy. It has good operation. The computer has a good, the operations work fine. Doesn't have any hard drive, can't store anything up here. So when I first came to this lifestyle, it was all over the place. I'm hearing about this, so I go and read about this. I'm hearing about that, so I watch some videos on that. And when I'm looking at a subject, I decide if it has value to me or if it's something I'm going to use or not. If I decide I'm not going to use it, or if it's of no interest or value to me, I don't put it up here. I don't try to retain the information. So when people ask me about things that I don't do or that I'm not interested in on this lifestyle, I'm not going to, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. In other words, I'm not going to be your Google. If I know something, I'm happy to answer it, but I'm not going to go do a book report or a research paper for you on some subject that I got no interest in. I'm not into all these buzzwords. And also too, let me explain, because somebody will have their feelings hurt. I call these buzzwords, but I'm not necessarily saying they don't exist. I'm just saying they're overused. People, Occam's razor, you've heard me using that a lot lately. It's when people, it's basically using the simplest possible solution to figure something out, or at least trying that first before you go to something all deep and dark, deep and convoluted or whatever. Some of the words, I just wrote just some down here that are just those little words that are always detox, 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 detox. How many times have you heard detox since you've been watching videos or doing stuff on this lifestyle? I am so sick of that word. Everything is about detox. The body naturally detoxes itself. It's basically us getting out of the way. The body will detox itself faster if we just get out of the way and don't put a lot of the stuff into our body to do it. But this never-ending detox, it's a buzzword. And be careful. I'm not saying we don't need to detox. I'm not saying we don't detox, but be very careful. I was wary from the beginning of these people that were constantly talking detox and cleanse, because we need to have a cleanse so we can detox some more. Once again, there's good cleanses. Go back through my videos. I've done a few cleanses here, but mine usually involve calories and just kind of cleaning your body out. Once again, there's nothing wrong with the cleanse. I'm talking, so don't hold me to the exact what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, anything can be used and anything can be overused. There's so many people that's all they're ever doing is cleansing. Cleansing and detox go hand in hand together, and feasting and fasting are close in there. I'm not one of your detox people. I don't do cleanses. I don't do feast. I don't do fast. I haven't been sick. I would fast if I was sick. If I got sick, or who knows, I may do it one of these quarters, just do like a little 2-day water fast to tighten up the immune system, but I don't fast. So I don't know that much about it. Why would I want to go, and here's something too. I think people might think like, well, you do a channel on mostly raw food. Well, I share what I share, and it's always been what it's been. It's just been kind of like me sharing my journey. You can take what you can from it. Bottom line, the reason I don't have to be adept at all these words is I'm not trying to make a living off the raw vegan lifestyle. I get that question all the time too, like, well, Jack, what do you do for a living? And hey, I was floundering for a good while, but I had in the back of my mind, I didn't want to be, I didn't want to put out some BS just to make money from this channel. I didn't want to put out yet another program. I damn sure wasn't going to be a coach, because at least 2/3 of the raw vegans out there are coaches. So I just didn't have any interest in that. And also, as time evolved and I didn't really know, which way I was going in with what I was doing everywhere, I was like, well, I just don't want to really monetize this thing to where I have to alter my message. In other words, that's it. Okay, I do retail. I've got a store. I'm opening another store soon on Etsy. I've got a couple of projects on Amazon. So I'm into retail. I don't have anything to do. Yes, I'm vegan, and yes, a lot of my designs are vegan, but I decided early on, I don't want to have books. People always say, write a book. Why? There's a lot of good books out there, and I'm not that passionate about it. And if you're going to write a book about something, Tim Ferriss has great advice. You should devote a year of your life to making writing the book the most important thing you're doing. So I never wanted to come up with a bunch of BS products. So I'm not about any of these things. What's another one here? Islands. Oh, islands have kind of disappeared. Does anybody do the islands anymore? They were real big. Somebody was always doing an island when and these, the reason I'm putting these down, and don't get your feelings hurt, in parasites. Oh, parasites, we got to cleanse to get rid of the parasites. And everything is parasites. If you're not absorbing because you have parasites. If something's not working, you're not absorbing. That's like the cat, that's like the mystery explanation. When you can't figure anything out, oh, well, it's because you've got parasites. Well, it's because you're not absorbing your food, and all of that stuff. It exists. I'm not saying that. There's people. I have the woman I'm working with. We were talking about, she had healed herself from Crohn's, and she had also had anemia. She was not absorbing, but that's an overused term. Most people, that's nothing. That's not your problem, because you're not absorbing your nutrients. So I just, all these buzzwords, don't assume those things with me. I follow a mostly raw food diet, but I'm not living, eating, and breathing this stuff all the time. I like to think I have a little bit more of a healthy balance. I'm about breath work. I'm about meditation. But part of my main practice is just getting outside and observing what I see every day. So, Yeah, I'm not your raw food diet guy for that stereotypical stuff to ask, like, what are your thoughts on this? Because I probably don't know. I don't know a lot of the terms. I do, to sum it all up, I do what works for me. I do what interests me, and I'm just showing, sharing, and reflecting that. Now, not to say I'm the smartest, I'm not the smartest person. I could be wrong. I'm not saying my method is right, this method is wrong. I'm not saying I'm wrong, they're right. I'm just saying this is how I do it. And I get a lot, like, I think that helps to define things sometimes, because you constantly have people coming that are new to your channel. I mean, I hardly ever go a day without a comment that somebody says, hey, I'm new to this channel. So you do have to, when you do a channel, you have to kind of state, your kind of belief system or what you're doing from time to time, and it'll save with the answering of questions or the lack thereof. And the reason why, it's not just that I'm ignoring, it's just that now, if I don't know it, I'm not going to really go look up some of this deep next level stuff. I'm into the basics. And that's why I've been kind of doing, my videos have been shaped like they have lately, just to like the basics of good whole food plant-based diet. Eating fruits and plants. Let's take all this convoluted stuff. Let's take us against them, whether it's cooked and raw and this versus that, and worrying about doing it perfectly. And let's just try to get everybody to eat more fruits and vegetables and get sunshine and get outside and move their body and be aware of the beauty around them every day. Some people, oh man, I've got 3 or 4 people on my watch list that I just keep an eye on them like with fascination. They're very strict. They're the rawest of the raw. They eat damn near perfect all the time, but they never have a minute to even enjoy anything. I'm almost like, why? I wouldn't, if I was that busy, I'm not sure I think I'd want to numb myself down a bit, but that's me, guys. I'm a little bit different. So you just need to know who you're watching and who you're watching, why you're watching, who you're watching. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.